Hello. Welcome to Doobies with Doug. Doobie, Doug. Today, we are on the south face of the head. And it's like a completely different day than it was over there. It's bright and sunny over there like it is here, but the wind's moving about 30-35 on the other side of the head. If you look behind me, you see these clouds blowing over my head. I'm like in a little pocket. The wind's blowing out of the northwest. I don't know if that's coming through, but there's literally clouds blowing a couple 100 feet over my head. The wind's just whipping up there. That's Newport over there, the town I live north of. I think you might just be able to make out the big arch of the bridge down there. And the jetty down further. There's two jetties, north and south, of course. I used to walk up over this thing. If you look, like right in there, there's some big buildings. One of those roofs is the back half of Walmart. I used to work there. I'd come up over, not this way, you have to go down that way around to that road, and then that road comes out down here on the beach. And I'd walk up the beach and go to work. Reverse it coming home. Come home about, I get out at 11 p.m. There's a vulture. Not yet, asshole. Give me a minute. Anyway, I get out at 11. I come walking up through here in the pitch black. It's just gorgeous out here. Owls and coyotes running everywhere. I was hoping to maybe spot some orcas from up here, but no luck. There's a orange float sitting down there in the water, some kind, crab pot float or something. Oh, good doobie. There's a boat way out there. I thought I saw a little shoal of fish moving through down here, but with the sun as bright as it is, it's hard to tell. But you can see the onshore wind rippling across the surface of the water there. This is kind of a magic hiding spot from the wind that nobody else knows about, really. There's some people that come here, but they usually come here to watch the surf competition, or they just wander through and wander off. But there's no trail down this hill, which if people knew about this part of it, they probably would make a trail down here. I'm careful to never take the same way twice to get here, so I don't make a trail to let people know there's a spot down here that's worth seeing. And there's slightly better views up here, but none of them are blocked from the wind the way this is. So if you're wanting to chill in the sunshine and soak up the ocean vibes on a windy day, this is probably the only place to do it. I mean, rarely in the summertime or in this time of year even does the wind come from that direction, from the south. It's really rare. So it's usually pretty calm right here. It's so cool, them clouds zooming right overhead. There's a nice fat doobie going. Some Girl Scout cookies. Dusted up with a little bit of Gorilla Glue keef. This guy gave me, oh, I don't know, a mason jar full of Gorilla Glue trim. And it was really dry. So I keefed it out. Just with a 110 micron screen and a credit card. Keefed it out. Got about 3 grams out of it. I was impressed. Really clean. It doesn't burn your throat at all. Yeah, I hope that's coming through the way the wind's making the surface of the water just shimmer and ripple like that. Just gorgeous. And like I've said before, you can walk 6 feet around here, just get a drastically different view. Those rocks down there, that's the quarry I go to where I film the seals and stuff. And I climb out on them rocks down there on the end. Yeah, the river comes out right there where the jetties are. There's like the jetties, and then there's a big bay. And on both sides of the bay is downtown area, the waterfront they call it. And there's an earlier video of mine where I'm walking down there. It's where the sea lions hang out, and all the boats are and everything. And it's a pretty busy port. Some of the boats that are on that America's or Deadliest Catch or whatever it's called, that crabbing show, they come and go out of here. And then the boat that was on a spin-off show from that, I'm not sure what it's called, I never saw it, but that boat just sank in a harbor here the other day. Turns out a new guy they hired pulled the plug and turned off a pump and then ran. Don't know if it was stupidity or sabotage, but I guess they're looking for the guy. Even though the waves are only rolling a couple of feet, you can tell the wind is really stiff out there by the way it's white capping them. I don't know if you can hear that, but just the tiniest little bit of breeze picked up when I stood up. Yeah, there's a car to give you a perspective of how freaking high up we are above everything. The full moon, you come up here. I'll do that one of these times. I doubt it'll come through very well on the camera. Maybe I'll wait till I get my better camera and I can play with light settings. This is one of the most beautiful places I've ever sat and watched the moon. It was the Swallow. Yeah, I've seen whales out here blowing, swimming around, catching krill or whatever it is they're eating up here in this little harbor. under the moonlight. It's just magical. Trying to figure out where this boat's going. He seems to be zigzagging. Maybe he's laying out. I don't know. That's not good crabbing ground. I don't know what he's doing. Looks like you got some surfers on the beach getting ready to head out. Don't look like enough to even boogie board onto me, but what do I know? I'm a landlubber these days. Yup, this is one of my favorite doobie experiences right here. I don't know if you can see there, but on the west side of the beach, up against the tree line, there's a darker line. That's a creek. And it flows out down there by that big building down here. It flows out and goes all the way up along this shore and then cuts along the head and dumps out right down here below me. And there's no way to get to that beach without crossing the creek. It's kind of cool. The creek's only less than knee deep, but it does keep a certain percentage of the laziest tourists off of there. It's still 1,000-fold more crowded than the beach on our side of the head, because there are, like down there where that dip is in that building, there's a parking lot right there, and you can walk straight. You can see them little dots down there. Them are people who walked out of that parking lot, and it's just, there's a bridge across the creek. If you look further south than that, right in this area, there's a big sandy knob that sticks out. I did some work for the lady that owns that property up on top of there and put in a whole bunch of rose bushes and stuff on her property. If I had Zoom, I could show you 3 or 4 properties I've worked on down that way, but I don't, so you just have to imagine it. I see a bunch of people with surfboards, but none of them have gotten in the water yet. This is not really what you would consider an amateur surfing spot. You can really see the sea mist blowing in. The further south you look down the cove, or down the coast. I think that boat's headed for the harbor, but he's just taking a really roundabout way. I can't see what kind of boat it is. It's pretty good size. Oh man, we're still only that far into this doobie. I'm already as high as these clouds. One of the guys I work for has a house up in them hills there. Whoo! Just copped one hell of a head rush. Gave me the fucking wiggles. I dropped my joint and everything. Didn't drop my phone though. That was like borderline loss of consciousness cough. Something just broke the surface of the water out there. Probably a mile out from here. Too far for me to tell what it was though. Yeehaw. Yeah, I've been getting those head rushes lately when I'm getting high. I'll cough really hard and almost pass out from it. Somewhat curious. Reminds me of doing nitrous. That's what it feels like, the oxygen deprivation feeling. I can't say it's completely unpleasant, it's just somewhat disconcerting. Yeah, he's headed into the harbor. Yeah, I don't video a whole lot up here, so I thought I'd share this Doobies we dug up on the hill. I might have shot one up here before, I think. It is one athletic walk to go from the beach up to here. You have a really sheer, almost cliff that you have to zigzag goat trail your way up. And then about 6 blocks of uphill pavement on the road. And then another trail that does the same zigzag up a cliffside, only it's black hummock soil, wet, slippery, and you're up over your head in salal plants, like swallowed in them, pushing your way through them on the trail. And then you get to a gravel road, and then it's about another 3/4 of a mile of uphill to get right to there, up at the top here, and then you walk down here. So most people would be wore the fuck out from one trip up. Especially if you're not used to this type of rapid elevation changes. But because I do this up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down all day and sometimes half the night, it's no big deal to me. I've been from the beach on the other side all the way down to the beach on this side, and then all the way back up and over and back to the beach on that side, filming the whales, and trying to film the whales, and then had to, come back up from that beach to my house, which is halfway back up the hill. And that's like 4.5 miles of walking, almost all of it on a really good grade. Which you might not think so, but walking down a good grade, it can be almost as difficult as walking up a good grade. Especially when it's difficult to control your rate of ascent. How much of this situation is in the hands of gravity. Because I'm here to tell you, if you tripped and went head over heels right here, you're probably going to die before you can catch yourself. I mean, literally, I'm sliding. I keep having to push myself back up. That's how steep this hill is. I'll show you if I stand up. That's the angle my feet are on. I mean, the phone's level. Oh, looky there, I almost sat in a pile of coyote shit. Good thing I missed it. Healthy pack of coyotes rules this head. They're quite fun. They're my compatriots, my brothers in arms. We share a fire for sure. Between me and them, we're going to keep the cats from destroying this ecosphere. Is it unfair of me to bait cats into an area where the coyotes can easily hunt them? Not saying that I have. Just asking if that would be unfair. It's funny, I can literally hear them people yelling at each other down there. And it would take me 20 minutes to walk there. If I hurried, maybe longer. Now, if I was free, or if it was an emergency and I needed to get from there to there as fast as possible and up the beach, I could bring a rope and tie it off to that tree right there and rappel down about a 200-foot tall cliff that's right there. And literally land 15 feet, 20 feet from the visitor center where they let people in. Where you have to pay to get in. If you drive a car in, you have to pay $15 to get in this park. But if you walk in, it's free. I've actually been waved through in a car without paying because they know I live here. In the wintertime when it's not crowded. It'd be just like, oh, hey, Doug. Wave me through. But like I said, I used to walk back and forth through the park every day to work and back. And so I got to know everybody that works here real soon. Because they're wildlife people, and so am I. Other than their involvement in the drug wars, I've never had any issue with wildlife enforcement. Ever. I mean, they have occasionally given me issues, but only in the course of doing their jobs and protecting our wildlife. And the only instances where I ever feel like they ever violated my rights or attempted to was over the drug war bullshit. There's something right there floating in the water. Or swimming. Swimming. That was a big ass something in the water. Watch that wave that's about to break right there. Right in that area. There was something large and gray that I thought was a surfboard at first. There it is again. Just briefly I saw it. Man, I hope that comes through on the camera. Because I think that's a shark. I see birds on the water right there. Right where I saw that. Which, you know, things that eat things hang out together. Often where you see birds, you see fish, and where you see fish, you'll see sharks. Interesting. Lord, I can't wait to have a good camera. I'm fairly certain that was a big shark. Just from the way that it moved and how big it was. And the color. It was like a really light gray is what it looked like from up here. Huh. I don't see it anymore. Neato. Still no orca spotting though. They've been in the neighborhood. And man, this is for sure one of the places you might spot one. I mean, I know they got pictures of them up here in the harbor and pictures of them north of here in Depot Bay, which is like 10 miles up the road. And I've seen fins on the other side of the head, dorsals, 3 of them traveling together that I know were orcas. So they're here. They were too far out to get a picture of even. But I saw them. Someone, are you sure they were orca fins? I'm like, yeah. They're pretty, 4.5 and 5 feet tall sticking up out of the water. And I also saw just a flash of the black and white patch too, so. Just beautiful. This hillside is gorgeous too. There's a bunch of different types of wild grasses, native grasses, and then I'm not even sure what these are. I always forget. A little yellow. And we got some daisies up here. And whatever these purple things are. Lots of ferns, of course. This is the Pacific Northwest. You can't have anything without ferns. I love this purple grass. It's always been one of my favorites. I don't know its name, unfortunately. And if you look down here, we have a Canadian thistle growing.